So sir, would you like to address yung sana itatanong sa inyo ni Senator Jinggoy? Alam niyo na ba yung mastermind at sapat na yung isinole?
Sinagot ko naman siya nung meron kaming tete-a-tete doon sa sidelines, di ba? Nung tinabihan niya ako. Sabi ko, hindi mo naman mapipinpoint ang nag-iisang mastermind sa buong, the whole caboodle, ano? Dahil, well, sabihin natin merong mastermind sa isang lugar. Kasi ang tinakilang naman natin, sinabi ko, microcosm, representative samples of the extent of corruption sa flood control projects like Bulacan First District Engineering Office at saka yung Oriental Mindoro. Now we intend, and as we are now gathered here, tuloy naman yung mga teams na sabi ko mag-extend kayo hanggang Visayas and Mindanao para lang makita natin how widespread yung corruption pagdating sa flood control projects. Ang next way forward also is to scrutinize yung mga, di ba pinakita rin namin, scroll namin yung mga letters from different lawmakers, congressmen and senators requesting for allocables. No? Kasi ang isa sa recommendation namin, alisin na natin yung allocables, alisin natin yung leadership fund altogether, saka insertions. Mag-stick na lang tayo sa mandate talaga ng lawmaker or legislator na mag-legislate, hindi yung mag-insert ka only for the purpose of or the intent of implementing it para makakuha ng kickback. So isa yon. So but we will zero in on allocables that were given due course by the DPWH, pinagbigyan. Tapos further we'll zero in on the projects na pinagbigyan na merong defects, substandard. Hindi naman yung altogether lahat ng allocables because at the time or even up to now hindi naman talaga illegal yung allocables. No? Although I personally believe it's not proper. It's not appropriate for legislators na magre-request ka sa agency for what? Well, probably they'll say para sa constituents. Pero saan ang galing ang pag-aaral niyan? Kaya gusto ko, di ba, magkaroon ng horizontal and vertical convergence. Meaning, may coordination ka sa local government units na nangangailangan. Tapos naka-coordinate ka rin sa mga agencies na mag-i-implement. Pero kung parang whimsically, mag-request ka ng allocables, thinking na yung contractor mo yung mag-implement, that's wrong. So yun ang way forward na zero in hanggang ma-determine natin how many projects among those allocables as requested and given due course yung na-implement at naging ghost project or substandard. Nandun ang mali, nandun ang napakamali. So, meron kaming mga in-inspection na suspectedly may defects in project. So,
Sir, yung tanong na kung enough na ba yung sinole ni na state witness sa Bernardo and Alcantara, is it, kayo ba ang pwede
only my own opinion, based on my dealings with Yusek Bernardo, and based on what I know, do sa extent ng kanilang participation, I don't think enough. Kasi lumabas na naman na si Yusek Bernardo, di ba, nag-commit siya ng 1 billion ba? And si Henry Alcantara, I think 200-300 million. I don't think those, yung restitution na yon enough. As far as I know, no, na naging participation nila do sa flood control anomaly.
Who will determine ba, sir, kung enough na yun?
Ano yun?
Yung korte?
I think that's covered by a MOA between the state witness willing to restitute and the DOJ, yung kanilang witness protection program. So sila yung nag-aral doon. Pero sabi ko nga, kung ako yung masusunod, it's way below what should have been restituted or offered to be restituted.
Okay. Mayan and then Danielle.
Sir, balikan ko lang yung tungkol sa mga ayaw pumirma sa committee report ninyo. Sabi nyo yung isa, candid enough to say na, kasi may nakikiusap. Sir, katanggap-tanggap ba yan na gano'n na lang, pag makiusap, hindi na lang pipirmahan yung isang legitimate document naman, sir, ng Senado?
Human factor. And I understand. Sabi ko nga, while I disagree, naintindihan ko yung kanilang mga rason, whatever reasons they have, for not signing. Kasi lahat naman tayo, di ba? Merong human element within us. Hindi naman tayo, hindi lahat ng tao napaka-rigid. Meron talagang flexibility somewhere. So, yun, while sabi ko nga, hindi katanggap-tanggap, pero dapat intindihin natin. Kasi alam niyo naman sa Senate, matagal yung pagsasama maski pa paano yung human element, yung human factor, yung human relations, papasok at papasok.
Sir, nasabi nyo na kanina na possibly because dahil may mga maapektuhang pangalan na taga-minority. Pero sir, yung nasa recommendation nyo, for ano lang naman, di ba? Preliminary investigation lang
Yeah.
naman. What
Ano
is
yan?
so bad about it, sir?
Wala. Kasi sabi ko, hindi naman ito hatol, hindi naman ito final judgment. Katunayan, between February 11 and now, until yesterday, may mga nag-develop na nga eh. Hinalimbawa ko nga si Senator Jinggoy, di ba? Dahil merong mga projects na attributed sa kanila, yung worth 355 million pesos. Tapos sinupi na, I think, sinumon ng ombudsman yung ating LBRMO. Hindi nila makita yung direct link do sa insertion ng proponent, si Senator Jinggoy. So, in fairness to him, minensyon ko yung kahapon. Di ba na between February 11, kaya hindi final ito, there would be some or there may be some developments that could serve as a defense noong mga nabanggit dito. So, nilap namin, recommendation namin for preliminary investigation, further investigation, fact-finding investigation. Nandun naman lahat yun eh. It's up to the prosecutors ng DOJ at saka ng Ombudsman, sila mag-determine based on evidence na ipadala sa kanila at saka yung magagather pa nila kung sino yung papailan nila na information.
May we ask, how's your relationship with these senators na kasama sa committee report nyo? Particularly sila Senator Shi, Senator Joel, Senator Jinggoy. Are you in
Well,
speaking terms or nagkakatampuhan ba, sir?
I will not blame them, but I have a duty to perform. Kasi kung puro pakikisama na lang all the way, wag na lang tayo mag-hearing. Di ba? Maintindihan ko naman where they're coming from. Yung iba, parang hunos dili na bumate. Yung iba, hindi ako kinakausap. But
Last na lang po for me. Sir, may we know kung ilang hearings pa and what is the possibility, sir, na makaharap pa si Zaldico knowing na nasa France nga siya, tapos nag-ano siya ng asylum? Paano po ba?
we will await the decision of the French government kung magagrant yung kanyang asylum. It is now incumbent upon this administration to oppose the application for asylum. Kasi hindi naman hindi naman yun siguradong ma-approve eh. Even yung kay dating Secretary Roque, wala naman nakakasigurado na yung asylum magagrant. Kasi kung ang best I think yung best case nila para mag-grant yung persecution. Pero kung ganyan, so challenge ito sa government to really vigorously oppose yung application for asylum. And if and when he is returned to the country, doon ko plano na i-confront siya doon sa mga Marines. Kasi after all, kung yung 18 Marines ang papatawag natin, nanggagaling lang naman yung sinasabi nila kay Zaldico eh. So, there's no point.
Pero sir, kasi di ba yung pag nag-apply siya ng asylum, habang hindi na bibigyan yun ng desisyon, di siya pwedeng pauwiin, sir, di ba? Yun yung sinasabi ng French
Saka
government.
hindi pwedeng arestuhin. So, I posited a legal question to my staff as we were discussing or preparing the partial committee report, the chairman's progress report. Sabi ko, scenario, what if in-invite natin si Zaldico and he agreed and went to the Philippine Embassy in France. Doon siya nag-testify under oath. Question, kung merong mag-move to cite him in contempt of the committee, tapos may mag-move na i-place siya under arrest, can we order the embassy personnel to put him under arrest and detain him there? I haven't gotten a parang categorical answer. Sabi ko, pag-aralan nyo. Kasi it might come to that because since Zaldico knows that he cannot be arrested by the French government, so but the Philippine government, and mind you, the Philippine embassy grounds in France or anywhere in the world, any country in the world for that matter, Philippine territory yun eh. And kaya nga inoobliga natin yung magte-testify na nasa loob ng embassy para may jurisdiction. Di ba yung sa mga commission on appointments na confirmation hearings, we require them to be present inside the embassy para maging valid yung kanilang testimony. But the question is, this is a different matter kasi merong possibility na mag-contempt at ma-order yung arrest. So, we're still studying that, yung scenario if it comes to that. Ngayon, kung merong police attaché or military attaché na naka-assign doon sa Philippine Embassy doon sa France, baka pwedeng doon i-detain hanggang that's outside the jurisdiction of the French government, di ba? French authorities, because he's being detained in a Philippine territory. But that's a good legal question to study. No? And wala pang nangyaring ganyan. So, unprecedented. So, pwedeng novel case ito kung darating sa Supreme Court. Kung valid ba na i-detain siya on orders of the Blue Ribbon Committee or the Senate President for that matter, habang hindi siya nagsasabi ng totoo or hanggang hindi nalilift yung kanyang warrant na i-issue ng Senate. It's under study.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, before Daniel